understand how things are made and looking at this piece of sugar cane, something that comes into my mind is, how does this make sugar? Join me, Nawasa Innocent, on the first ever episode of How It's Made. It all begins with farmers driving their loaded trucks to the sugar factory. The sugar cane is then offloaded and put on feeder tables. Here, it is weighed and sorted, while on the main carrier, whose role is to sort the canes. These sugar canes should be at least 18 months old. A lorry of sugar cane costs over 175,000, which makes sugar cane growing a lucrative business. 1 ton of mature sugar cane that's about 18 months old has a recovery of 10 kilos of sugar. As soon as the sugar cane is offloaded from the lorries, it is put onto the feeder tables that drops them onto the conveyor. This is where sugar cane is cut into smaller pieces, ready for milling. At the milling stations, the process of separating solids and liquids takes place. This is where juice and solid, which is now referred to as bagasse, are separated. This process is called extraction. What we are witnessing right now is where the 5 mills at the sugar factory do the process of extracting sugar from sugar cane. At the end of this milling process, the bagasse is conveyed to a different mill where it is expected to be turned into energy as the juice is taken to the process house. The reason for having these 5 mills is completely extract as much sugar from the sugar cane as possible.
If you look backwardly, after the first meal we were adding juice, followed in the second and the third meal also juice, between the third and the fourth juice, but the last meal, just as the bagasse enters the last meal, we add water to help dissolve any other remaining sugar in the bagasse before being thrown out.
At the 5th meal, the bagasse will contain at least 1.5 to 2% sugar content. Whatever is taking place at this sugar factory is being monitored at this control room. That is, the process of purifying the juice, the evaporation, the steam, the vacuum, and the juice flow. The juice is then heated under controlled temperature that's about 70 degrees. Lime is added to raise the pH from 5 to 7.4%. This is aimed at maintaining the sucrose in the juice. The juice is then reheated at 103 to 105 degrees centigrade to complete the reaction, as well as kill the bacteria in it. At the end of this process, one is able to witness clear juice that has just been separated from the muddy material at the bottom of the clarifier. This clear juice from the sugar cane contains at least 88% water. This water is then passed through several evaporators to have at least 75% of it evaporated. The product of this evaporation is syrup that looks like honey. The syrup is mixed with sulfur dioxide to have it clarified towards the crystallization stage. The crystallization process takes place in several vessels. Finer crystals of sugar as big as 7 microns are produced and boiled in several pans.
Now what happens in that pan is that the sugar molecules will deposit themselves on the existing crystal which we have put in. Non-sugars will remain in suspense. That material is known as massicule.
The muddy materials or muddy cake from the bottom of the clarifier is taken to the muddy mixer and fed into the rotary vacuum troughs. There is more juice recovered during this process. this juice is also turned into sugar. The muddy cake contains calcium and phosphate and can be used to make fertilizers that replenish the soil. In this sugar-making process, everything is useful. Here is where the final stage of separating sugar from the molasses takes place. This sugar will then be boiled to the actual crystal size.
These centrifugals are running at 1,100 RPM, throwing out the molasses through the screen while the crystals remain within the basket and discharged onto a conveyor that takes it to drier, cooler. From there, it is taken to the bin, and there is where we weigh into 50 kgs or 25 kgs.
You can see that after this boiling process, sugar crystals have started to form. However, the sugar crystals still look tiny and more boiling is needed to form the required sugar crystals. As more water evaporates, the sugar in the solution then attaches itself on the crystals, making the crystals grow in size, and more syrup is added until the desired size of crystals is attained. That's about 0.5 to 0.8 millimeters. This is the final process of making sugar. It's now evident that sugar crystals have been formed, dry and white-brown in color, as you can see on the dryers. The good news is, we both know how sugar is made, from the estates to the trucks to the millers, and of course through different processes that we just watched, to this packaged sugar ready for sale and consumption. I am Nawasa Innocent, and this is how it's made.